Hello and welcome to episode 57 of Beyond the Finish Line, the podcast for runners of every pace, every distance, and every goal. I'm your co-host, Georgia. I'm a 5-time marathon runner, a content creator, and a soon-to-be mum. On today's episode, we are going through the 20 most common running mistakes that people make. As told by our DMs, we've gone through absolutely everything that you guys have asked us, and we have come up with the top 20 for you. But before we get into that, I better introduce to you the other half of the podcast, Coach Matt. He is a 5-time Ironman. He is a long-distance runner, loves a trail run, and he is also the founder and owner and head coach of Beyond the Finish Line. That's our podcast. Of the Performance Project, Australia's largest growing endurance community. How are you going, Coach Matt?
Now we got the intro out, Georgia. I'm good. You can breathe. You can take a deep breath. It's okay.
Guys,
it's all
I was
good.
so
The spotlight's
close.
off you.
I was so close, and then I absolutely choked at the end. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, and I'm finally breathing again after a minute. I just held my breath.
She forgets to breathe during the intros, guys. It's okay. It's all right, Georgia. Relax. I'm doing fantastic.
That's good. I'm so glad.
How are you? No, you're like some oxygen is back in the brain. How are you feeling?
I know my colour's coming back to my face. Do you know, I do the same when I record videos at work, but anyway, I just forget to breathe. I am good. We just went and saw our baby on an ultrasound, so I'm stoked. I'm on absolute cloud 9.
How good? How far along are you now?
I'm 19 weeks, so almost halfway, which is so
That's
cool.
halfway. 21?
Halfway would be 20 because they consider like 39, 40 to be full term, but lots of people go over. You just never know, really. Could go under.
Okay.
Baby's currently measuring about just under a week ahead, which is crazy. So kind of cool.
Yeah. It's wild how quick. I was just thinking, like, when you told me, I was like, I can't believe that's been 4.5 months or like 4 months.
Yeah. Well, what I told you I'm just trying to think.
You told me early.
Told you at like 4 or 5 weeks. So
Yeah, you told me super early, yeah.
Yeah, you've been in the journey for a long time. And poor Matt, well, I should say poor Matt, but actually poor Samantha, because Matt held the secret and I actually just thought he'd tell Samantha. So when I saw her in
let's get, I'm interested to hear what people think about this. So as you guys know, I take things pretty literally. Georgia, we were on the podcast. We were doing pre-recording and or pre-production, as our extensive pre-production goes. And Georgia goes, "I'm pregnant. Make sure you don't tell anyone." I was like, "Okay." And I didn't think about it. It didn't enter my brain again until we were. I can't remember where. Oh, we were at our end of year meeting for TPP, and then Georgia goes, "Sam, oh yeah, I'm pregnant." She's like, "Matt, you didn't tell me." I was like, "She told me not to tell anyone." You didn't say don't tell anyone but Sam. You just said don't tell anyone. So I didn't tell anyone.
It's so funny because like within my friend group, we all just know like depending on what it is, I guess, like if it was something super, super serious, we wouldn't tell our partners. But a lot of the girls know like if you're going to tell your bestie something, they're probably going to tell their partner. And the boys don't care. Like they're not going to really hear a secret and be like, "Ooh, I'm going to go tell everyone." They're like, "Yeah, okay, cool, whatever." So when I told Matt, and I didn't just say, "Hey, Matt, I'm pregnant." There was a whole like, guess what?
There was a spiel. Yeah.
And when I said, I was like, "Oh, look, I haven't told anyone yet. So if you could just keep it to yourself." He was like, "Yeah, sweet." And then a couple of weeks later, when I said to Sam, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I don't know if Matt, like, I'm sure Matt's already told you." And she's like, "Told me what?" Poor Sarah.
So don't tell anyone.
I was like, "I'm so sorry. That's my fault. I did tell him not to tell anyone, but also
I'm a vault, mate. Someone tells me not to tell anyone. That's it. And it's not because I'm good at keeping secrets. It's because of my ADHD and I just forget. It's gone.
Out of the brain.
Yeah. Unless it's top of mind, I have no interest in it.
Yeah. Look, I don't blame you because I could imagine you just being like, it's not that, like, it's important for you and like, that's great. But also like, I've got so much more to think about.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't, for probably 5 more months, it doesn't affect my life whatsoever. So I'll talk about it then.
I know. Well, currently I can't make it up to Gold Coast Marathon, so it's slightly affecting you a little bit earlier than you'd hoped.
Well, again, I got a couple more months till then, so that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Because like can you imagine? I'm just at the finish line of Gold Coast Marathon cheering our athletes on, and I'm like, oh my God, my water broke.
Yeah,
Oh,
disaster.
So no, absolutely not. But every time I keep seeing online the things from like Sydney Marathon and like Gold Coast and stuff being like 4 months to go or 6 months to go. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, all of our GC marathon athletes start prep next week, 16 weeks out. Like, it's here.
Crazy. I
It's
cannot
here.
believe it.
Yeah. We just had Tokyo Marathon last night.
Yes.
And had Emily crush that, went sub 5, which was awesome. But
so exciting.
yeah, it's crazy how quickly everything just rolls around. Before you know it, friggin' Sydney Marathon will be here, and then it'll be Ironman Western Australia, and then it'll be fucking 2027.
And we would have done over 100 episodes by then. Crazy. Oh no,
That'd
we
be
love
cool.
it. Love it. I know 100 will be a big one. We should have like a little party.
We should
I'm
do
always joking.
we should actually do a podcast like in person versus just virtual. That should be our 100th.
Oh, that'd be fun. You can come here because I'm not going anywhere.
Bruh, I'm not going to the city. Fuck off.
I love that everyone's just in on our conversation right now.
No, this is what they sign up for.
It
Welcome
is.
to be on the finish line.
Yeah, we just chat anyway.
This is why we are top 5 on the Apple charts. This right here. This is the content you come for.
I haven't checked that in a while. We should really look at that. Yeah, I'm sure you check it more than I do.
I haven't checked it this year.
There you go. See, we just
last we checked, we were top 10.
I love it. We love the Apple charts because we're always, up there. Actually, Matt and I were just chatting, guys, and we want your opinion on this. So I don't know. I don't think. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put it out there. I'm just going to ask you guys first. So on Spotify, you can actually do video podcasts now, and we can especially do it now because we've hit a certain kind of level. And so we want to know, is that something you guys would like? Would you like to see us in person, like on video on Spotify, or are you happy just to have audio? Because it does mean we have to change a bit with our production side of things if we do jump over. But yeah, keen to see what you think. Matt,
put it in the comments.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Well, we put it out on YouTube, so I feel like most people would enjoy it, and I think they might actually take a little bit more. I know when I watch a podcast, I'm a little bit more engaged versus when I'm just listening. I miss stuff. Sometimes if I go back and re-listen to a podcast, I'm like, I don't remember any of that. But if I watch a podcast, I'm like, oh, I feel like I was engaged. So maybe during some of like our more nerdy topics, if people watched it, they might take a little bit more away. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because we both listen to podcasts completely differently, and I think that's a very good gauge of how many, how the spectrum is with people listening and watching podcasts. Like I never watch a podcast. I don't watch YouTube. I don't do any of that. I like to listen to a podcast and do something else at the same time. So, I never watch video on Spotify. So I don't know. But then Matt just said that he only watches podcasts on like YouTube. So very interesting. I'm keen to hear what you guys think. So yeah, leave us a comment or flick us a DM.
Platform. Yeah, whatever platform you listen to us on, let us know.
Let us know. We really want to know because it's a decision to make. As I said, it changes the production side of things for us. So, if you're really keen, tell us that you're really keen though. Don't be like, yeah, I could do. And then we change it and no one watches them. So I'll be really annoyed.
I feel like that's what so many people do that. They're like, yeah, absolutely. And you change it and like, oh, actually, I was wrong. You're like, fuck.
Yeah. The stats on like switch to audio is like 99%. Because like it's like my favorite podcast. Yeah. My favorite podcast does video and there's an option to switch to audio. And because I just listen on the bus and if I watch video, I'll be sick. So I'm constantly switching to audio. So look, don't do us dirty, guys. If you want it, you got to really want it.
I love it.
Anyway.
Do you know what I love, Georgia? That 2026, you have become so much more confident about just talking shit. Like, the opening of our podcast now is just talking versus you're like, we got to get into content and no one's going to want to listen to us ramble. Like last week we spoke about how you're a drug addict. This week we spoke about
Coffee addict. Thank you.
Caffeine is drug.
Oh, I was editing that this morning on the bus on the way to work, and I was having a giggle to myself and just like,
I'm so glad you put it out.
oh, just you can see in my brain
You
the
see
moment.
realization.
Guys, if you want to see, I mean, you can see it now on our Instagram. But go across and watch me like realize the fact that I had a problem. Even now, like still, I'm like, I had one coffee this morning. I wasn't even tired this afternoon, but I was like, you know what? I got time to go and have a coffee at the cafe.
Yeah.
Makes me happy. All right, leave me alone.
Mate, I'm a coffee addict. I love coffee. I will happily just go and sit down and have a coffee. But it was just funny, the real-time realization of you going, oh, is this what an addict is? I'm like, no shit.
Anyone who knows The Simpsons will get the reference when I say you can pinpoint the exact moment his heart breaks. And the slow motion of Ralph.
Yeah, that's a great one. And he's like,
oh, enjoy that one, guys.
Oh, this is an educational podcast.
You're in a silly mood today. Oh, how's your week been, Matt? Give us your highs and lows.
Yeah, week's been all right. No real highs, just like pretty consistent week into like some solid training. Go to New Zealand this week, so it's kind of a bit of a deload into a taper.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Go to New Zealand on Wednesday for the Ironman. Just a half Ironman this time. And then low, I've got a little bit of hamstring tendinopathy. It's actually like quite severe tendinopathy. So I've just been soldiering through that. So that's been a bit of a pain in the ass, literally.
I mean, soldiering through it. Talk me through that. What do you mean? Is it bad? Are you just running on injury here?
It's just painful all the time. Like it's not going to snap. It's not going to get worse. It's just like an 8 out of 10 pain all the time.
And what's the physio saying about that?
He's just working on it, giving it treatment, like got needled and shockwaved and stuff today. But he was like, as long as you can withstand the pain, you can keep running on it. You're not going to make it worse. Yeah. So he was like, it's just going to suck. I was like, okay.
Shockwave on the hamstrings. That's hectic.
Yeah, it really fucking hurts.
Yeah,
because like it's in like the glute insertion, so right underneath your glute. So it's like, it's tender.
Oh, yeah, because I've had that on my hip and it is like, I quite enjoy the pain.
Hip's way worse because it's like on the bone.
Do you reckon? I don't know.
Yeah.
Mine was a bit more glute hip than actually on the bone hip. So I reckon hamstring would be way worse.
It's not an enjoyable experience either way, but like it's, yeah, it's just is what it is. So just as long as I can handle the pain, I can continue to continue training. So I will just do that.
I love that you just going into a half Ironman, like, and just not really talked about it much.
Honestly, like I've trained for like 6 weeks, and I'll just go and do it. Like
for funsies.
Yeah, well, and one of our TPP coach, he's doing his debut Ironman, so I'm going over for him and make sure I'm there for his big day. And we've got Jimmy going over, going to film it all. We'll do a doco for him and everything. So I've got like work stuff to do, but I was like, if I'm going all the way to New Zealand, I might as well have a bit of fun.
So is it, I think we've already talked about this, but I've forgotten. Is it on at the same time as the full, or is it over 2 days?
No, it's on the same time. So the half Ironman starts about 45 minutes, an hour beforehand.
Okay, so you'll have enough time.
So we'll be like, we're out of the water on the bike by the time Ant starts. So my whole goal for the half Ironman is 1, get through pain free with my shoulder. As long as my shoulder's all good, happy days. And I need to be finished my race before Ant gets off the bike, which that'll be like, there should be absolutely something have to go really, really wrong for that not to happen.
Yeah, right. And we've also got a few other people going over, don't we? We have Lou.
Lou is doing the full. She's on debut as well. And Taylor is doing the half with me.
So good. I love it. That'll be awesome. I'm excited for
Yeah.
you guys. I wish I could get over there to see it because it'd be really cool to support people doing
It's a
their
long way to
first.
go.
It
It's
is, but it's New
you got to fly to
Zealand.
New Zealand, then it's a 2.5 hour drive to Taupo. It's a long way.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, it's almost the same though. It's like just going to Perth.
It's quicker. It's quicker to go to Taupo than it is to Busselton.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I mean. Like, I know Busselton's not like you have to drive to Busso, right? How long does it take from Perth?
It's about 2.5 hours to Busso as well, but it's like a 6-hour flight to Perth.
Yeah.
Where it's like a 3 or 4 hour flight to New Zealand.
I'd rather go to New Zealand.
Yeah. What about you, Georgia? What about you? Highs and lows, mate. Talk to me.
Highs and lows. Highs is obviously I just saw the baby, so that's great. They gave me a little wave in the 3D ultrasound, which was so fun. I took my best friend Tani with me. She had the day off today and Nick couldn't come. And she's like, oh, can I come? And I was like, yeah, let's go. So she came. So that was super fun. So it's always good to see the baby. I actually booked in the appointment because I haven't seen the baby since January. And then we weren't going to see the baby till mid-March. And I was a bit like, it's been too long. And as much as my anxiety is really good at the moment, I was like, I just know this will get me through another 2 weeks of just being like, okay, everything's all good. Because you can't feel anything. So you're kind of like, I hope you're okay down there. Like, I don't know.
How long before it kicks?
Well, so this is what I've been putting on my socials this week. They say anywhere from kind of, for where I'm at and the type of pregnancy I have, from now until like 24 weeks. So
are there different types of pregnancies?
Yeah. So, well, sorry, I wasn't going to get deep into it, but now I will.
Educate me.
I will educate you. Coach Georgia. Well, so Nick says this all the time. He's like, I'm learning so much. It's so fascinating. So with my type of pregnancy, what I mean is my placenta, when you obviously you conceive a baby, it's like a little tiny embryo, and then it's not till like a month or so, a couple months in, that you actually start to develop a placenta, which is what feeds the baby. And so it attaches to somewhere within your uterus, and so it can either attach to the front or the back, or then like low down the bottom. And so front is called anterior, I think back is posterior potentially.
That makes sense.
And then you've got low lying placenta, which isn't as advantageous, like isn't as amazing, but it's fine. So mine's at the front, which means that between my belly and the baby, we've got the placenta, and then you've got all of the layers of your like skin and stuff. So I won't feel the baby as quickly because the baby's not as close to the front until they're a lot bigger. So some people feel the baby in a I'm sure it's posterior. Anyway, forgive me if I'm wrong. They feel it a lot sooner, like anywhere from 15 weeks, whereas where mine is anterior, most people say, I put a thing on my TikTok, most people say from like 18 to 24 weeks, so could be any day. So I'm just like every night I like lay really still and like concentrate, and I'm like, please.
Maybe if you can feel him kicking through, I'm assuming it's a boy. I've made that assumption.
Yeah, I've made that, so that's fine.
If you feel him kicking through, he's going to have strong legs, so he'll be a good runner.
Maybe. Well, the legs are, as I showed you the ultrasound before we jumped on mic.
Big old hoofs on him.
Legs are nice and long. Nick has very long legs. I do not. So I'm hoping they got Nick's legs. But it's so funny. Like people, even I say they because I don't know what it is. But my friends say she. Some of my family say she.
I bet all the girls say she and all the boys say boys, right?
So funny. Couple friends are like, nah, I definitely think it's a boy. So they're just like, say whatever they want. But then, yeah, it's pretty 50-50 what people think, which I mean, makes sense. But, you know,
yeah.
Funny that.
Yeah, only two options.
Yeah. And then my low for the week is I went for a run on Sunday, which is fine. I did 4K, but then I was getting quite bad hip pain afterwards. So not ideal, but I'm seeing the physio on Friday, so I'm sure it's fine. This time it doesn't feel like what I had before, where it was kind of on the outside of my hip. It was kind of feeling more like the joint. So I think it's just a funny pregnancy thing. So anyway, I just try not to let that get the best of me. I'm going to go for a swim tomorrow, and yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh, I forgot to mention this in the intro, Georgia. For all of our listeners, I have started time stamping the podcast. So if you don't like the shit talk that Georgia and I do and you want to get straight into the info, you just go to like the show notes. It'll tell you the exact time when we start answering questions or talking about topics. Just thought I'd put that.
I'm so into that. I love that
Yeah.
because sometimes you're in a rush and you just want to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, or if there is a specific question or topic you want to just like, I want to listen to that 7-minute chunk of it, you'll be able to see it rather than just listening to Georgia and I talk about placenta and coffee addiction.
But also, if you want to listen to the whole podcast, please do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There will be the people who listen to the whole thing no matter what, but there will be people who get 7 minutes into
Yeah.
that conversation be like, what the fuck is this? This is not running.
We're currently 20 minutes in and we're talking about placentas.
You're welcome, guys. This is the kind of information you can't get anywhere else.
Exactly. Nah.
You're
Look,
welcome.
as we always hear, this is the perfect long run podcast because it's conversational pace. So
You're not
we
wrong.
love that. We love that. So let's jump into today's topic. So Matt and I compiled the top 20 things that we feel like our runners and endurance athletes are making mistakes with based on, your questions, things that you say to us. If you jump in our DMs and let us know things, we kind of compiled them all and we've very neatly concise put together a list. It's the most, show notes we've done and pre-production for an episode for a while. There's lots of work went into this. So we hope you enjoy it. And we think you'll get a lot out of this because there's 20 different things that you guys are making mistakes with and we hope you can correct them.
Hit it,
All right.
Georgia.
Should we get into it? So I've categorized them for us because we, love that. Makes it nice and easy. So we're going to start off with training and pacing. So for the first one, people starting off too fast, going out too hard, and then burning out really, really quickly within their runs. Why is this so important?
I've got a two-tone answer for this. Number one, when you very, very, very first start running, you don't have different paces. You just have stop and go. So go out and just run, build up some general fitness. Once you're at that 5-6K mark and you can you've got a bit of fast and slow gears, that's when it's like really important that we're slowing down and we're just able to cruise so we can extend the amount of time we're running. Because at the end of the day, you can only run fast for so long. And it is really, really hard to get fitter just running flat out all the time. It's not an efficient use of your time. That's the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people that say they hate running, I reckon it's just because they're going out too hard, absolutely gassing themselves.
100%.
And then they're like, this sucks. And I'm
or like the person who goes out and runs 5K every Friday and like, why aren't I getting faster or why can't I run further? And it's like, well, you've only got one flat out speed, mate.
And that kind of, that jumps into our next one, which is running every run easy or all of them hard. There's no balance between your easy runs, long runs, and quality work.
Yeah, I think this is a huge one. So I would much rather an athlete run all easy than all hard because risk of injury, you're going to get more, risk of injury is super high. You're going to be able to get more time out, more training out, more volume out. There's way more positives with running all easy. That being said, if you do all of your runs easy, you will never develop your top end. You'll never get that much quicker. You'll get really efficient at one pace and one effort, but you'll never really progress in terms of speed and endurance. You'll just sort of build out just one pace for a very, very long time. So you do need a balance of everything. But I think if you were to stick to one, it would be running all easy.
Yeah. And I think you never know kind of how fast you can go if you're running all easy. Here's a really good example for you guys. So some friends of ours just got into running. And when I say just got into, they've just started a couple months ago and they're just kind of going on little runs every kind of week. There's no real structure to it or anything like that. And so on the weekend, Nick said, let's do a progressive run where you're progressively getting faster. I'll take you. I obviously couldn't go. I just did my own thing. But they started out doing their normal pace, which is like a 7-minute. And so they were like, oh, yeah, this feels really good. This is kind of where we've been running. And Nick was like, okay, how fast can you go? And they were like, oh, maybe like a 6:30. And Nick was like, okay, let's see what happens. So with all of Nick's knowledge, obviously, that he's learned through Matt and stuff like that, and he took them on this run and he was just doing kind of kilometer intervals with them, progressively got faster. The fastest kilometer that they both did together was 5:10. And they had no idea they could even run that. And they wouldn't have known that if they hadn't pushed themselves to do a session that was outside of just an easy run that they were doing a couple of times a week. So it's always worth it.
Absolutely. That's like we run threshold testing, all that sort of stuff with our athletes so we can get that full gauge.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just got to work both ends of the pyramid. You got to work your top end, you got to work your bottom end. Otherwise, you'll just not really progress. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. The next one is skipping your warm-ups, jumping straight into your pace work and completely stopping dead at the end of it and not doing any sort of cool down.
this makes my hamstrings hurt. I'm just hearing that. Just like I'm going to tear a hamstring. Warm ups and cool down, guys. Like, if you ever like wake up and you're like, oh my God, I absolutely don't want to train, do a really, really long warm up. Like if you're like a 5 minute warm up person, commit to like 10 to 15 minutes. I promise you by the end of that, you're going to be like, all right, I feel good. Same with cooling down. Like if you've just done a
Yeah.
really hard session versus like stopping, getting in the car and going home, or you go, I'm just going to 10 minutes of easy walking. You don't even have to jog, just 10 minutes of walking. You will feel so much better. Just
Yeah,
like
I agree.
insurmountable. So don't use the first kilometer of your workout as the warm up. Don't just finish your session and jump in the car. Like warm ups and cool downs are there for a reason. Like they prime the body, they get the blood flowing, they obviously warm everything up. Risk of injury goes down. Don't neglect your warm ups and cool downs.
Yeah, and those dynamic warm-ups and stuff are super, super helpful.
Mhm,
On Sunday, I did like the most half-assed warm-up and now my hip's sore. So
mhm.
I only have myself to blame. And even Nick said to me, he was like, Georgia, you did like the worst warm-up ever. And it was just because I was in a rush and I was like, oh, I've just got to get through this run. Whereas now I'm paying for it. So it's definitely worth it. Not following a structured plan, running random workouts without any kind of progression.
Mm.
We all know how Matt feels about this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be so hard on this one. I think there is a time and place for everything. I think if you're just running for the love of running and you don't have a particular goal and you just one day like, hey, I'm going to go out and do 5Ks fast. And then one day I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a trail run. And one day I'm going to go out and do a coffee run with my friends or go to run club or whatever.
Yeah.
There is a time and place in a season in your life for that type of training. But if you're training for an event, if you're training for a goal, if you're training for a specific outcome that you want to achieve, progression is the only way and structure. Like you cannot get there just through sheer dumb luck and just winging your way through it. Like you need a plan, you need to stick to the plan, you need to trust the process for an extended period of time and do that repeatedly for months and months and months or years and years and years, depending on the size of the goal, and then you will eventually achieve it.
Yeah. And this one comes from lots of questions that we get from you guys to say, oh, I've been running for 2 or 3 years and I can't seem to crack that, a certain pace or a sub whatever time that they're after. And so we thought this is a really good one to add in because it's so common, just people kind of winging it and hoping to get times that they really want. So yeah. All right. Increasing the volume or intensity too quickly, which leads to fatigue and injury.
Yeah. Again, this is like everyone knows the 10% rule. Everyone should know the 10% rule, which is a very, very generic, very safe textbook, middle of the bat kind of reply where it's like, okay, if you ran 10Ks week one, you can run 11Ks week two, right? Just increase volume by 10%. More experienced runners can sort of do anywhere from like 20 to 30%, just depending. I would say that there is more risk with increasing intensity than volume
Mm.
within reason. Like that doesn't mean you can go out and run 100Ks on no training. But all things being equal, like people just do too many hard runs back to back to back without recovery, and that's what injures them. So I would encourage athletes to increase volume before increasing intensity. And then if you are to increase intensity, make a reduction in volume and give yourself
Yeah.
adequate rest.
Yep. And we spoke about this on one of our episodes recently. I'm going to quickly
Mm.
see if I can find the 10. Oh, yeah, it was last episode, to episode 56, guys. And Matt really goes into that 10% 20-30% rule. And so
Mhm.
if you really want to jump into that, you can. And as Matt said, you can actually go to the episode and you can go down to the timestamps and find the one where we're talking about the 10% rule and listen to it. So if you want to pause this, go back to that, listen to that, and then come back, you'll be set.
Yep.
Cool. So now we're going to jump into technique and form. Notoriously one of my biggest things that I struggle with. So number 6, poor running form, overstriding, slouching, heel striking excessively, and just having bad form in general.
Yeah, I think this is something that gets a little bit too much media time. If an athlete came to me and that was the first thing that they addressed, I would be, I would definitely say like, hey, let's just get some general fitness in before we even look at your running form. The chances of your running form being so horrendous or so biomechanically non-favorable that it is the leading indicator of you not progressing is basically zero. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many athletes we've coached at TPP now. Well over 150 one-on-one individual coaching, and not one of those athletes have I been like, running form, like forget fitness, forget training, forget consistency, like running form, we need to fix that. Like not one of them. And I don't know how many other athletes that I've just been around, spoken to, whether that's Ironman, marathons, ultras, whatever, seen all sorts of different running techniques, running forms, and I've gone, stop everything. Like we need to fix that. Like never once. So I would really encourage people to be aware of it. If there are little cues and things that you can look at, but do not make it this absolute, I must change my whole running technique to do it. I think a really, really good, I actually recently did a clinic with him, the Balanced Runner, Paul, can't remember what his last name is.
I've seen that. Yeah.
He's on Instagram. He's phenomenal, and he's got very, very good cues that won't change your whole running form, won't change your whole running gait technique where you've got to like strip it all the way to the ground. It's like, hey, let's implement this one little thing and just see how it changes you.
Yeah.
And I would really encourage people to do that versus try and build it from the ground up, because unless you are very biomechanically sound and understand biomechanics at a high level, the chance of you being able to rewrite 20 plus years of muscle memory, very, very low.
Yeah, and I also really encourage people to not do things that you see on social media. So when I first started running, I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, don't run on your heels or don't heel strike heaps, and make sure you're running on this part of your foot." And so I implemented that, thinking I was doing the right thing. This is before I met Matt, thinking I was making my form better. And I recently, maybe it started last year, was speaking to a physio, and he was like, "Why are you running like that? Like that doesn't look natural." And I was like, "Oh, I thought that's just how you're supposed to run." And he was like, "No, that looks so uncomfortable. Like, why do you think that's better?" And I was just like, "Oh, I just saw some stuff online." And he was like, "Nah, let's not even get started on that." So just make sure, like, run what feels really comfortable as well. Don't run what you think you should be doing, because sometimes it can make it way worse, like me.
Yeah. And the reason you run the way you run is because you have certain biomechanics. So like if you have really long femurs, if you have a really short torso, if you have long arms, if you have big feet versus shorter legs, like it is all going to change the way you connect with the ground, the way your knee drive works, the way your hip flexors work, the way your glutes fire, all of those different, the way you swing your arms, the way you hold your posture, all of those different things will be affected. And it's your body has written that muscle memory, like written that language for you over, I'm assuming most of our listeners are adults, so over 18, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And it's built that because it's super efficient. Your body is great at being efficient. That's all it wants to do. It wants to do everything as efficiently as possible. So that does not mean there isn't room to improve, but it does not mean you need to like strip it down to the ground and build it from the ground up.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of room for improvement, it's one of the common things we get is people saying that they're not engaging their core or their glutes, which then
Hmm.
in turn means that they're losing efficiency and stability.
Hmm. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that you
glute.
can do a lot of core stuff in the gym, right? That helps with that.
Absolutely, and it
And
circles back
glutes.
to our warm up. Like if you look at dynamic warm ups, things like leg swings, things like crossovers, things like A skips, B skips, any of those sort of movements, if you actually think about it from a biomechanical standpoint, what are they working? Glutes, core, keeping posture up, chest out, shoulders back, knee drive, hip flexors, ankle mobility. All of these are like they're to prime those. So then when you start running, guess what works? Those big engine room muscles. So like glutes. The reason the glutes are so big is because they drive all of your legs. They hold yourself up. They connect for your lower back to your core, which keeps chest out, shoulders back, keeps your diaphragm down so your lungs are open. Like it is all intertwined. If you do not take the time to warm up properly, there's no chance of your muscles that you want working to work, and then you can't run efficiently.
Can I just say, guys, how lucky are we to have Coach Matt on this podcast? Because I love when you get real nerdy and get really into it.
It's been a while. So I felt like I haven't really dug deep on something for a while. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm just loving that, like, you really know how to explain things really well. Like, even I'm just like, I'm so engrossed. I'm like, wait, I've got to say the next one. Cool. So number 8, ignoring cadence or in turn focusing too much on cadence. So, you're either ignoring it, which causes low step rates and, more stress on your body, or you're focusing too much on that 180 that you see online a lot.
Mm. This is something I was actually very self-conscious about because I have an extremely low cadence. Mine's in the high 150s, low 160s. So I would run between 158 to 162 for like a 3:30 marathon, like sort of marathon pace.
Yeah.
Um,
That is quite low for that
Super low.
speed. Yeah.
Right. And for context, I'm 6'1", but I have long legs and I have big feet, right? I have like size 12, 12 and a half feet. And long legs. So when I was speaking to Paul, the balance runner, I was like, I really want to get my cadence up. And he's like, why? And I was like, I feel like I'm leaving some inefficiency on the table. And he sort of looked at me run and he was like, I think your natural cadence is like 162 to 165. Maybe if you're running half marathon, you might get to 170. And I sort of had a chat with him about it. And he was like, back to what I was saying about biomechanics. Like everyone is so different. And it's like, because I have strong, bigger legs, I am good at I take longer strides. My body's good at absorbing the volume or absorbing the impact and being able to propel myself forward. So I kind of like bounce versus athletes who maybe have shorter legs. They need to go tap, 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 tap because they don't necessarily have, it's not the strength. They just don't have the bone density, ligament attachments, or thickness of ligament that they can absorb that impact and really propel themselves forward. So they need to go tap, 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 tap. So there is such a wide variety of cadence that we do want it. It's like 180, forget 180. 180, you can fuck that right off. Like, just there is no like, you need to run a one. If I ran at 180, I would tear a calf muscle in like the opening 1K. Like, it's almost impossible for me to run 180, even at like 350 pace. Can't do it. I think there is definitely efficiencies people can find in increasing cadence, but the chances of you needing to go from, say, a 155 to a 180 is basically zero. So it's, again, one of those super nuanced ones where everyone's going to be different based on their biomechanics, but definitely don't get caught up in the 180 or what they say on social media.
Yeah, and just don't get caught up in anyone else's cadence. It's just so personal. Like, my cadence could be anywhere from 160 to 170 because I've got little legs.
Yep.
Like if I'm running with Nick, I'm taking 2 steps to one of his steps,
Yep.
So like naturally our cadences are going to be completely different. So,
and like Nick's a great example. And Nick and I are about the same size. I'm a little bit heavier than him and he's probably slightly taller than me, but I have bigger feet than Nick. And Nick takes on average about 9 steps per minute more than me.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
You just can't listen to anything you see online about I don't think at cadence, as in like this is the number you should be hitting.
Yeah.
And especially when people are like, you should be doing like, this is how you get a 180 cadence. And I'm like, it makes no sense. Why are you saying that? So yeah, take it with a grain of salt, guys.
Absolutely.
Listen to Coach Matt. That's all you need in your life. It's Coach Matt.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, jumping
PPP
into
coaching.
Shut up. Jumping
It's in the show
into
notes.
footwear and gear. We're just going to ignore Matt for a second. Number 9, wearing the wrong shoes that are old, worn out, and not supportive. This is a big one. Lots of questions about this in our DMs all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people are gearheads, so it doesn't really matter what I say here. They're going to buy new shoes regardless.
I think you can get more out of them than people say you can get out of them. But running on really old shoes is not great.
There's actually a study being conducted at the moment in Colorado where they're testing super shoes, and there's people still running on the first Nike Alpha Flies. They've lodged like 2,000 kilometers on them, and they're just as responsive.
I love that.
And like that, when they came out, like 250K, so they're nearly 100x more than what they said. And this is proving like real. They're testing a whole bunch of different shoes, but it's proving like you can get 10 times minimum what the recommended is before like there is any performance decrease.
Yeah.
So I think people definitely put way too much thought into like, I've had my shoes for 6 months, they're buggered. I'm like, mate, try 6 years. Like, you'll be fine. You're running your 30 kilometers a week, like you're going to be okay.
A good example of this, actually, recently I went to an ASICS event, it's probably a month ago now, and basically they were asking people to bring their shoes in to trade in, and you could get given a new pair of shoes, a new pair of Nimbus. Anyway, and I was getting content, so I was like, I'll take an old pair of my shoes down, I'll trade them in, I'll get the content. I already had a pair of shoes, I was already wearing them that day, but I just wanted to get the content of me handing the shoes in. Anyway, I was speaking to one of my friends at ASICS. He is, he does all the kind of tech stuff. So when you're trying on the shoes at like an event or you're doing a wear test, he's the person who is like, this is the foam, this is why it's designed this way. Like he knows all about the shoe. Incredible guy. He just actually ran a 2:30 marathon at Tokyo, like crazy. But yeah, he was basically saying, I showed him my shoes and it was the first version of the Super Blast. And I loved them. And I was really sad because I was like, they've had over 1,000 kilometers in them. I'm really sad to let them go, but none of my other shoes are really worth donating because they've still got kilometers in them. And I thought they were dead. And I showed him and he was like, nah, they've still got heaps in them, mate. Like you can still run on those. They're fine. And I was like, wow, like that's so good. He's like, I can see the foam, and because you haven't been running them in them for a while, the foam's still nice and responsive. So I just thought that was super cool that, you can get more out of them. And even like the tech guys at ASICS are telling you that. So, if you feel like you can get more out of them, like save your money.
I always think about it like, this is a weird analogy, but it's like dairy products. So coming from cooking background, whatever the use by date is on like a bottle of milk or yogurt or something, it's good for like another month. Like as long as it's legitimately like it's good as gold. As long as it's refrigerated, no worries.
And as long as it doesn't smell.
Yeah, obviously. Like take that month with a grain of salt, guys. But like it is good for a significant period of time post that date, right? It's just like a best before date.
Maybe not milk. I get butter and stuff like that.
No, someone who has worked in professional kitchens, I have seen it all.
I know.
Including people defrosting prawns in a dishwasher. That was my first work experience job.
What? I've seen people online cooking stuff in dishwashers.
Yeah, like big commercial dishwasher, just chucked in a whole bunch of frozen prawns, shut it, put it on steam mode, and defrosted prawns. There you go. So guys, be careful where you eat. Anyway.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it was. And I was like, I'm leaving. This is not, I'm like 14 and I understand that this is not good.
Yeah, this is against my values.
I'm in danger. Shout out Ralph Wiggum. Yes, but like the point is, whatever, like they've got to say a certain amount of kilometers to cover themselves legally, right? To make sure the foam doesn't deteriorate, make sure you're not going to roll an ankle. So like whatever they say, like there is significant more life left in it.
Yeah. And that kind of pushes into our next one, number 10, which is people like really focusing on the kilometers that a shoe has left in it instead of
Yeah.
just looking at it and seeing what it looks like.
Look and feel, baby.
Yeah. Is it falling apart? Is the foam really compressed? Does it still have like grip on the
Do your
bottom
feet
of it?
hurt? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Instead of actually going by feel, they're just like, oh, well, the thing online says, 400 kilometers. So in the bin.
I don't even track the kilometers for my shoes.
I don't
At all.
anymore. I'm
No.
so lazy with that. But even
Life's too
then,
short.
like, if you're in a training block, I get it. You want to have like shoes that you want to feel confident and stuff in. So maybe you can gift them on to someone instead of just throwing them out. Like let's circular economy here, guys. Yeah, I'm so funny with that stuff. I love giving shoes away to people. I hate the fact that they just get landfill. Ugh, horrible. Next one, number 11, overdependence on super shoes. So using performance shoes without base fitness and in the wrong situations.
Yeah. So it's something we do at TPP. We've actually banned all super shoes outside of like key marathon or half marathon workouts. Like just don't wear them.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's for a speed session. Don't care if it's a VO2. Don't care if it's for your 5K time trial. Don't give a fuck. No super shoes until like 6 weeks out from your race. And even then, it's only wearing them once a week. Like that's pretty much our protocol. And we even try and encourage our slower runners to not wear super shoes and find like really good speed, tempo-y type shoes, maybe with not a carbon plate, but like, just some really good speed foam and things like that in it. So we've really gone hard on that in terms of when people should use them, when they shouldn't.
Yeah, definitely. And if you guys are stuck for what to wear, feel free to hit one of us up and ask. Like we know so many different shoes now that, we happily will recommend some shoes that aren't super shoes to you that you can wear for your workouts. But yeah, I definitely had a problem with this at the start where I was wearing them way too much just because I like how fast they make me go. And yeah, it's kind of like if you use all of your things at the start, like when it comes to race day, then you're not really going to feel the benefit.
It's just an ace up your sleeve, mate.
That's it, exactly. You're always good for a nice little, what's it called?
Analogy?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I wasn't sure where you're going with that.
Neither was I. Guys, sometimes my brain just turns off.
That's showbiz, baby.
Oh, stop it. All right, let's jump into recovery and injury prevention. We've had lots of this over the last couple of weeks. We had one the other day about, working too much. Like, how do you know when you're working out too much? And so I've linked them. I might share that story again because they're really great episodes, but I've linked all the episodes that you can listen to where we focus on that. But number 12, skipping your rest days, thinking that more is better than actually finding times, whether that is active recovery or if that's full-blown rest if you need it.
Yeah. I really struggle with how to generalize this because I think the overwhelming majority of people don't do enough training and they're like, oh, I need to have a rest day because my legs hurt me. And I'm just like, go out and go for a fucking run, Jesus Christ.
Poor Matt, I put all of these into a list and I forgot about the rest days one. And obviously that's a thing that we get a lot is burnout. And so a lot of people talk about burnout. And so I put this one in here, but then I just remembered as I was saying it, I was like, oh God, Matt's going to say something about people just not working out hard enough. So
yeah, well, I mean, that there is definitely that group of people who prioritize rest over training. Like, I need to be adequately recovered to do my fucking 30-minute easy run. I'm like, no, just go and do your 30-minute easy run. Jesus Christ. But then there is, on the other end, there is the other end of the spectrum. And I coach some of them where I'm like, yo, stop training. Like, we need to rest. So like there is a whole spectrum of athlete, but as an overwhelming general principle, it's like one rest day is enough. Like, have a rest day, recover, try not to do hard sessions back to back, make sure you have adequate recovery in between. Recovery doesn't mean sitting on the lounge eating a pack of Doritos. You can go for a walk, you can go for a bike ride, a hike, go to the gym. Strength training is great, active recovery. So a whole bunch of different things you can do that is not just chilling out watching Netflix.
And, as Matt said, there's just heaps of stuff out there you can do. I think it's like you need to kind of ask yourself, do I need a rest day because I am physically, mentally, everything exhausted and my body is not going to let me run? Or am I just not disciplined enough to be like, I just need to get out there and go for this run?
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of people don't know how to distinguish that. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day.
Number 13, ignoring niggles, running through pain that's not normal soreness. And so at the top end of this episode, I did ask Matt. I said to him, well, what talked me through running through this injury of yours, the tendinopathy. But as you said, you've spoken to your physio. He said you're allowed to run. You're not ignoring the injury. You're doing things that are smart. So I think this is a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. I am super. Any of my athlete comes to me and they're like, "Oh, this was just a little bit sore, or this was just a little bit off." I'm like, "Let's just go get it checked out. Like, check it out. Take the day off train. Like, here's a great day for a rest day. Go to the physio. I go get a massage. Go like have this looked at. Like, I would much rather you look at it and be nothing, and us take 24 hours off to assure that, versus, oh, maybe it'll be nothing, maybe it'll be something. You tear your calf, you tear your hammy, you get bursitis in your hip, whatever it might be, and you're out for 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months. So I'm super, super proactive when it comes to any sort of niggle, any sort of anything. Obviously, seeing as many athletes as I do, I can sort of identify if something is a physio problem versus a rest problem versus you didn't warm up problem. But 99 times out of 100, I'm like, let's just go get it checked out. Better be safe than sorry.
Yep, fully agreed. Just get it checked out. Can't hurt. Yes, it's expensive to go and see someone, but better than having to fork out thousands for an injury that's gotten worse when it could have been prevented.
And so the $100 or $150 it costs to go to the physio to get one check and then take a week off because it's like, hey, this is like really close to tearing, straining, whatever, versus the 15 physio sessions and no running that you have to do after that for the injury. It's like chalk and cheese. So it's a great investment.
Yep, for sure. Not incorporating strength training. We get lots of questions about strength training, if they should be doing it, when, how often. Just missing out on your strength training and injury prevention and all that kind of stuff that, you can actually gain from going to the gym.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they hear strength training, they think squats, deadlifts, overhead presses, clean and jerk, snatches, things like that. For runners, you can get away with like a 20-minute body weight, single leg movement type of workout. So it doesn't need to be this big daunting thing, especially for a lot of our female listeners who may not feel comfortable going to the gym. There's heaps like on YouTube or even ChatGPT can do an okay job. You're like, hey, at home, body weight, single leg, runner, rehab, prehab session. Give me 3 days a week, 20 minutes. So you're doing an hour total for the week. You'd be good as gold. It'll just make you bulletproof. Like the injury and even the amount of training, and this might sound counterintuitive, the amount of training my athletes who strength train can do is probably in the neighborhood of 30 to 50% more on average than athletes who don't strength train. They can just handle more volume, they recover quicker, they have more discipline, they are more focused. Like it is not a coincidence that all of those traits overlap with people who do strength training versus not. And obviously their injury rate is significantly lower. So, and they progress a lot quicker as well. So all of those things, do your strength training.
Do it. You heard it here first. Number 15, poor sleep and nutrition. Training hard without fueling well or recovering well. So not eating your carbs and not going to bed early and getting a full good night's sleep.
Yeah. As someone who is a notorious bad sleeper who normally gets like under sort of 6 hours a night, I understand the struggles. Look, if you're not getting adequate sleep and you're not fueling, like you're kind of wasting your time training. Like it's not going to work. Like you're sort of fighting an uphill battle, pushing that rock up the hill, and as soon as you stop, it's going to roll back down. I would really encourage people to, and I understand modern day life, sleeping 8 hours might not be for everyone. If you can't get all of your sleep in, you've got to fuel properly, because at least fueling is going to somewhat decrease that risk of injury and give you adequate energy to go out and train, and then try and get the sleep whenever you can. But just sleep and eat, guys. It's important.
Especially for, I know we bang on about this, but especially for our female listeners.
Mm.
And we always talk about, it can be really hard to get out there and like eat correctly. A lot of people are striving for certain body types and eating a certain amount of calories and all that kind of stuff. It's well worth looking into how much you should be eating, or currently how much you are eating, and if it's actually enough, because that could be hindering your performance as well.
Yeah, massively. And I think like most, especially female athletes, once they have properly fueled 1 or 2 weeks of training, not just one session, but able to sort of string it together for a couple of weeks, it's like a light bulb goes off in the head. It's like Georgia when she realized she was addicted to caffeine. She's like, oh my God, this is what it's like. And they never go back. So
Well, do they? As soon as the baby comes out, I'm like, give me a V. Hey, I'm not having those at the moment. I'm just having coffee. So, we've come a long way, guys. All right, 5 more to go. Mindset and motivation. So, comparing yourself to others, chasing someone else's paces or progress.
Mhm.
This is such a big one, guys. I hear it a lot in my DMs about people saying they really struggle with the online space and just seeing even what their friends are doing on Strava, and, how hard it can be to not compare yourself to other people.
Yeah. I think there is a time and a place for comparison. I don't think comparison is completely unhealthy, especially if that person is someone that you look up to, someone that maybe they have achieved something that you were trying to achieve. So if there is someone out there who is like, I've been working for the last 2 years to do a sub 4 hour marathon, looking up to Georgia in that test, or comparing themselves to Georgia in that scenario, I would not say is unhealthy. If someone was running their very, very first marathon and then comparing themselves to Georgia, I'd be like, probably not healthy. So I do think there is time and a place for that. But overall, comparing yourself, and we talk about this a lot with, you don't know the last 20 years of their life, have they done track and field and little athletics and played football at a high level for their whole childhood? And you're like, well, obviously they're going to have more athletic gifts and foundational training than you. So unless you know the whole picture, I would say comparison is not healthy. But if you have somewhat of an idea that they are somewhat similar to you, comparison can be a good driver and a good motivation.
I love that. I feel like that was a really great analogy to use in terms of like a beginner runner versus maybe someone who wants to look up to doing a sub 4, or, even if they're not looking at me, or, you've been running for 10 years and you're looking up to someone who is doing a sub 3. Like, yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
a
for sure.
relevant person.
I love that. It's such a good way to put it, is like, yeah, you can compare yourself if it's going to motivate you, not make you feel like shit.
And if it is the correct comparison, if it is a relevant comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I love that. And I mean, you're welcome to look up to me for support.
Well, you are the fastest marathon runner on this podcast.
And never forget it, guys. We've got we've got until Matt's full Ironman at the end of the year to see.
Oh yeah, for anyone wondering, we don't think it's fair if I just run a normal road marathon faster than Georgia, so I have to do one in the Ironman, which I think that's fair.
It's so
to even the
funny.
playing field.
It's fair in the fact that it's timed correctly. It's not fair in the fact that you're doing a marathon after 180 Ks on the bike and a big swim. So, like, look, it's really not that fair, but I'm going to go with it because it means that I continue to be the fastest runner.
You can have it to the end of the year, yeah.
I'll have it until I don't know, maybe you'll just decide you want to go out and do, a low-key marathon around your area just to get the time. Well, don't do it. But...
If I'm being fair, Dinka George, I could probably run sub 4 tomorrow if I wanted to.
Yeah, of course you could. We're not denying that. No one's denying that. You just haven't officially done it.
Yeah.
Focusing too much on your pace and time instead of your consistency and effort. Again, I feel like this is going to be one of those things where there is a time and a place for this. So, sometimes you do actually have to focus on your pace and times, but where this comes from is people asking us in our DMs saying, I need to be running at this pace or this time, or, again, that goes back to comparing themselves to others. But what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. consistency is king. Like one thing I harp on to my guys is consistency over perfection. Like I'll say that to the day I die as a coach.
Yeah.
Just consistency over perfection. There is a time and a place for pace and times, especially like when we start talking about performance athletes. They're chasing a certain goal, a certain time. Obviously, if Georgia wants to run a sub 4, we need to make sure she's running 5 minutes 40 per kilometer. Like that is just the what is relevant for that. But there is also a huge chunk of the year, probably the majority, actually definitely the majority, 9 months of the year where I don't give a shit about how fast she runs. I just care that she is training consistently. So it's like what we said, comparing yourself to the right thing. Also like comparing your training to the right part of your training block. So 9 months of the year, you should just be like, am I training 3 or 4 times a week? Am I ticking the box? Am I doing my easy runs? Am I doing my hard runs? Am I fueling correctly? Am I covering, doing my strength work, doing all the things? And then it's like, okay, cool. It's marathon block, it's half marathon block, it's race block, whatever you want to call it. Now it's time to like, okay, I'm focusing in on that 5:40 pace or whatever pace.
Yeah, love it. Agree. We've got a couple more to go, guys. Overtraining because of FOMO. Matt, do you know what FOMO is?
Yeah. Oh, guys, can we hold on? Reverse it up. Georgia's taking a punt. Okay.
This is gonna bite me in the ass. I can feel it already.
So what you guys didn't hear is Georgia tried to record an intro at the start of the podcast, and we had to scrap it and do another one. Georgia, what word did you use?
I'm frantically Urban Dictionarying this, just like.
So we're not actually sure if this is a word because Georgia was like, guys, is it deeping? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said,
is it
deeping it? I was like, wait.
So we don't know if that's a word. So guys, can you tell me in the comments, is deeping a word? Is deeping a thing? Is that on TikTok? Is that a YouTube thing? Like, I don't know.
Look,
I don't know where we find deeping, if deeping's real, if it doesn't sound real. It sounds like Georgia just didn't say it properly and tried to play it off.
I used it in the wrong context. So I'm just going to tell you, Matt, because I've got it here on Urban Dictionary, which, we trust. So I said deeping it, like as in we're deeping the top 20 things that people say to us that are wrong.
Right.
Mistakes. When it actually is like you're thinking too much about it, like you're overthinking it is, if you're deeping it, you're overthinking it instead of like getting deep into it. I can't believe this is why I stopped the intro because I was like,
not going well
no, that was wrong.
This is not going well for you. Yeah, you're not going
no,
well.
I was 100% wrong. I used it in the wrong context.
Do I know?
Sure.
Do I know what FOMO means? I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Well, overtraining because of FOMO. You wouldn't. Do you get this? I don't feel like you would get this.
No, I personally don't know. I think most people don't overtrain, they overstress. So they go out and run at a pace that they can't, or an intensity that they can't handle because they want to run with their friends. So let's say you are a 6 minute per pace easy runner and your friend is a 5 minute. Rather than asking your friend to slow down to 6 minute, you would run at 5 minute and you'd just be fucking cooked. So I feel like that is what people do more than necessarily doing too much. They do too hard.
Too hard. Okay. It's funny because when I was thinking about this and what I had in mind was like kind of questions people ask me is I reckon people get FOMO and they sign up to too many races because they're like, I got FOMO that I'm not doing fun things like signing up to like Sydney 10K or signing up to Hoka Half when they maybe don't need to be actually doing a race. That's where I reckon a lot of people would get FOMO. But in saying that, I have 100% been in that, space where you're at a run club or you're running with friends and they're running really fast and you're, fighting for your life at the back. So.
Yeah. And they're just having a chat, cruising along.
Yeah. Story of my life. All right. Last two, race prep and strategy. Number 19 is poor race fueling, not practicing your hydration and nutrition before race day. This is such a big one.
Yeah. It's probably the second most important thing outside of just training consistently. You've got to practice everything from, and this is like how pedantic we are at TPP. We do everything from dinner the night before through to breakfast the next morning, pre-run, intra-run, post-run. So our guys, for essentially 36 hours for about 6 weeks before, it's the same routine. They get up at the same time. They have the same breakfast. They have the same pre-run. They're wearing what they want to wear on race day. It's a whole routine, and then they just practice, practice, practice. And when everything is the same, if something goes wrong, it's very easy to identify. If something goes right, it's very easy to identify. If every week something chops and changes, and you're like, oh, this week my stomach felt bad, or got cramps, or had to go to the bathroom, whatever it was, like, cool, like, what was different to last week? And they name 11 things. You're like, well, fuck. How are we going to sort this out? So I can't stress enough how important it is just to practice that routine. 6 weeks out, from dinner the night before, pre-race dinner, breakfast, clothes, fueling, hydration, all the way through.
Yeah. And I know I said here, like, your fueling strategy, but as Matt said, clothes is such a big one, especially
for girls.
Especially for girls. Like, you know, guys, if you aren't sure what you want to wear on race day, and for guys, it's probably not as big a deal. I do know guys that really love to pick their outfits for race day. But, you know, if you're not practicing that firsthand, like, how are you going to know if you're going to get chafe under your arm where the bra rubs you wrong? Like, I went through probably 4 different types of bras in my lead up to the marathon, testing them out, being like, okay, can I do this? Can I wear this one? You know, I even had to like request different bras from Asics because I had to wear Asics. I mean, I was happy to, but because I just said to them, I was like, nope, this one rubs me the wrong way. I can't wear that on race day. Even down to the shorts, I just said to them, I was like, I'm really sorry, I can't wear these on race day. They're not long enough. I need this type of thing. Like, I've done all of my sessions in this short and they're amazing. I did 4 in this short and it's, you know, it rubbed me wrong. I got chafe. That's going to ruin my race day. So things like that are so important because, you know, chafe can ruin your race day. It
Massively.
really, really can. Yeah. So focus on that stuff. It's just as important as the nutrition side of things, as Matt said. So it's a big one.
Same with socks, shoes, blisters, like, test it all.
Socks, everything. Test it all, as Matt said. For weeks and weeks and weeks, we train this stuff together. And Matt's saying to me, like, what are you eating? What did you have the night before? Like, why is this run different to last week? What's going on? So it's so much easier, as Matt said, to just be like, oh, I changed one gel and that's why I got a stomach ache at 20 kilometers. So definitely look into that one, which leads us to our last one, not training in race conditions, ignoring the weather, the terrain, and your pacing specifics. This is a big one.
This is a big one because we actually got some pushback of this because I was talking for Sydney Marathon and I was like, we don't actually give our athletes hill-specific training for Sydney. And like a lot of people would consider Sydney a hilly marathon and I do not. It's like, it's only 350 meters over 42 Ks. So I think you really need to be familiar with your race. You need to know the terrain. I'll start with terrain. You need to know the terrain of the race. If it is a particularly hilly course, then yes, you need to do hill training or you need to do race specific training. But I do think for the majority of amateur runners, they put more emphasis on that than is needed. And maybe that's a mental thing. Maybe they want to just feel prepared. And that's fine. But like, there's a lot more to be gained through like more levers we could pull rather than like just doing hill training, for example. Weather's an interesting one. Outside of really, really hot, really, really cold, don't really care. Don't care if it's raining. Don't care if it's windy. Don't care about anything else. Like, it's just sort of hot or cold that I care about. Because if you're wet, you're wet. Like, okay, next. What do you say, George? You can only get wet once.
People quote that to me all the time. I am just going to jump in here, though, because one of the things I was thinking of when this kind of when I was writing this one was that we get a lot of questions of people being like, what do I do on race day if it's pouring rain? You know, and this happened for Hoka Half last year. It poured on race day. And so lots of people were asking us, oh, I don't know how I'm going to, like, what do I do? Blah, 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 blah. And I would just say to them, I'm like, okay, have you run in the rain before? And they're like, oh no, I never run in the rain. And I'm like, okay, so why? Like, I just think people make the mistake of never ever running in anything but perfect weather. And then it comes to race day and then they're running and they don't know what it feels like to run with wet, soggy shoes and a soggy sports bra, and they're getting chafe and stuff like that and not prepping themselves for things like that. Like not knowing that when it rains, like to wear a hat because it helps not get rain in your eyes and things like that. And I think that's where people make the mistake, is that they just only ever do one specific thing and then wonder why on race day it all falls apart when it's not the exact perfect day that they had planned.
Yeah, I definitely think there's two types of athletes. There is the athlete where I would put myself in this category where it, I'm just going to race. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, it could be a thunderstorm, could be hail. Like, I'm just going. And then there is the athlete where if it's not the absolute perfect condition, they will mentally break down. So I agree with Georgia that if you maybe are, I say this in the nicest possible way, if you're on the mentally weaker side of things, exposing yourself to the different stimulus, like really, really hot, really cold, raining, early mornings, running in the dark, late nights, maybe not late nights, like running on dusk, things like that, are only going to sort of give you more tools in your toolbox to be able to get through different situations.
Yeah, and as Matt said, understanding what kind of runner you are, and like Matt is happy to run in any condition, loves running in the heat, that kind of thing. I'm on the side of where I get really nervous about that sort of stuff, so I like to be as fully prepared as I possibly can be, and so I make sure that I'm out there in the rain. I'm doing different types of sessions. I'm running in the heat. I'm running in the cold. All those sorts of things, so that I am prepared for race day. And yeah, and that comes down to lots of different things. If you want to prepare for the weather or if you want to go and do hills, you can. It's not necessary, but you can do it if it makes you feel better. Or if it means, you've got to get out and get the paces right. And that's really important in training as well, is to train that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Wow. This podcast episode has gone on nice and long. We probably have time for, what do you think? One quick question, Matt?
Yeah, go on, one or two, whatever you
One
got.
or two. All right. Okay. Leonie has asked, how effective are treadmill runs for improving real-world running performance? I notice I can run much faster with a lower heart rate on the treadmill because there's no wind resistance, hills, or anxiety, but those gains don't seem to translate outdoors. Does treadmill running still meaningfully build aerobic endurance and speed for outdoor running, or are there limitations athletes should be aware of? What a question.
Yeah, I always find it interesting the different things people come up with as excuses.
What
Just
do you
like
mean?
wind resistance. Like, are you
No, but
are you running into a class 4 hurricane? Like, what are we talking about?
I think what Leonie is saying is like, is it effective to run on the treadmill for your training? If that is, if you can't run outside, or is it going to hinder them on race day when there's no wind?
I understand the code, but then she like listed the thing, and like you'd be shocked at like.
I love that though.
If it was like 28 degrees, someone like I would get a Training Peaks comment for sure, being like too hot, heart rate was 9 beats high. I'm like, unless you're running like on the equator, it's not going to change your heart rate 9 beats. Like, let's relax. You the 7 cups of coffee and 4 hours sleep you had last night. But anyway, look, the reason
Leonie, he
that
means
people
really well.
This is not all directed at Leonie. This is just directed in general. I just found wind resistance just set me off. Look,
jeez, I really should have like shown you this question beforehand.
Yeah, sometimes George doesn't give me a heads up, and I just get you with both barrels.
Rogue. Go on.
Cool. So, why is treadmill? We'll do the good and bad of treadmill running. So, the good about treadmill running is if you are not used to speed workouts, or if you are trying to get to a new VO2 max 5K speed, it's really, really good for teaching muscle memory of fast leg turnover. So you can set the treadmill to whatever pace, let it get up to speed, and then jump on it and do a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, jump off, rest, minute, 2 minutes. And then you can translate that leg speed over to real world running for very, very short periods of time, right? Like, it's not going to completely change your marathon pace. It's not going to completely change huge, huge chunks of running, but for a very, very small window, you can change it and it can teach you a new neuromuscular connection. So fantastic for that. Fantastic for coming back from injury, or if you've been doing a lot of running and it just absorbs that impact, because obviously treadmill's very, very springy, doesn't have that impact that the road does. Also very tailored, so like you can increase the incline, increase the decline, all those sorts of things. The negatives of treadmill running is it's not real running. It's doing all you're doing is lifting your legs up and down. Like it's the belt's moving. You're not propelling yourself forward. So the reason that your heart rate's low is because you're not working as hard. Just plain and simple. It's not real running. Does that mean there is no place for it? No. If your options are, especially female runners, if it is you got to get a run in at 4 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night, and it's not safe to run outside because maybe you have anxiety or maybe you just don't live in a safe area. It's like, cool, get on the treadmill and run. It's so much better than not running. So there is definitely a time and place for treadmill. But to answer like the question specifically, it's because you're probably doing 70 or 80% of the amount of work at that pace. That's why it's significantly easier. Heart rate is lower. So in triathlon, it's like, I think it's the 4-to-1 rule for the bike and 2-to-1 rule for the swim, which basically means like, if you swim 3K, it's the equivalent of running 6. And if you ride, or the other way around, I can't remember now, whatever it is. Oh, that's going to fucking bother me.
Let's just going with that.
Where I was going with that is I'm sure there is a rate where it's like, hey, if you have an hour on the like an hour run programmed, you might have to do an hour 20 on the treadmill to get the equivalent. Is sort of where I was going with that.
Yes, I get you now.
Yeah. Another hack with the treadmill is set it to 1 or 2% incline. Don't have it flat, because then you do have to work. You do have to work a little bit to turn the legs over and drive yourself forward. But yeah, that's my thoughts on treadmill running.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I think that's what Leonie was looking for. I think if you can, don't do all of your runs on the treadmill, because
definitely not.
Yeah, if you're going to go then do a race outdoors, it's going to feel completely different.
Yeah, and you will just break down, because running on the road we talk about like getting stiff legs and getting hard legs, like that impact, that constant whack, 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 sending that shock through your calves and your quads and your hamstrings and your glutes, strengthens everything. It's like why quite often for a marathon block, even if you don't go to the gym, you'll put on a little bit of weight because you're building muscle in your legs. Like that strength in your legs is designed to deal with that impact, which is designed to get you through your conditioning, to get you through to the half marathon, full marathon, whatever. So if you haven't built up that conditioning, when you go to do it in real life, it's just going to fall apart.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, that's super helpful. So thank you, Matt, for answering that for Leonie. Let us know, Leonie, if you have any other questions regarding that. All right,
sorry
last
if that
question.
was aggressive.
I don't know. He doesn't mean it. Nah. I'm the listener right now. Like when you're answering that, I was like, oh God, this is probably not what she wants to hear. But sometimes we need a bit of tough love.
It's called
last
coaching.
question. Or coaching. Last one here is from Ryan. This is a bit of a funny question, so I am interested to see what you say with this, Matt. All right, Ryan has asked, I've seen online coaches recommending conducting your long run each week that you use the 9-and-1 formula. This is 9 minutes of running with 1 minute of walking. What's your opinion on this? Their reasoning is that it aids with recovery.
Dumb. Next.
No, don't be silly. Answer the question.
Cool. So like, if you're an absolute beginner runner, run walk method, and guys, if you don't know, like, yes, they've said 9-1, 9 minutes run, 1 minute walk, but essentially it's a run walk run method, right? Which we would use for really, really beginner runners. Be like, hey, 3 minutes of easy jogging, 1 minute of walking, 5 minutes, 1 minute, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. And we'd build that up until, hey, you can run sort of 20 minutes continuous. And then we'd progress from there. Maybe for like a super beginner runner, if you're building out a long run, I still don't love it as a training methodology. 9-and-1 just sounds like it just seems weird. I can't think of I'm trying to think, Georgia, if I was coaching you right now to do a marathon, where I would fit this into a block, even in like a deload week of like, hey, we're going to do 9 and 1. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me on any physiological level. So I would say if you are anything outside of an absolute beginner, this is just a bit of social media horse shit. If you are a beginner and you're starting to build up your long runs, I can see a little bit of benefit where even if it's from the mental perspective, where it's like, hey, I've only got to run for 9 minutes, then I get a break, and 9 minutes, then a break. And I might be able to do that 6 or 7 times to build out that 60, 70, 80-minute run. Okay. But in terms of like recovery value, and I'm trying to do the math. Okay. So if you do a 2-hour long run, that's 12 12 intervals. That means you get 12 minutes of rest. I'm just like, 12 minutes, like you'd be better off finishing your run 12 minutes early and getting off your feet. Like I can't really make sense of it from that particular methodology of like it aids in recovery. For me, like I don't think it's a thing.
Cool. I think the more realistic version here is the like doing a bit more intervals where you're running a little bit more at marathon pace and then doing like a space in between where you're running slower. But yeah, walking seems wild to me. But
even just the ratio 9 to 1. Like I was more like there heaps of times during like say Georgia, hey, we're gonna do the 3x10K.
Yeah.
It's like if you need to walk for the 500 meters in between it, no worries. Like I don't care about that. But it's like that would be like a 5-minute walk. So it's just the ratio 9 to 1 doesn't really make sense to me. I'm happy to do some more research, Ryan, if you so desire. But right now, my initial instinct is it's a bit of social media hype.
Horse shit.
Horse shit.
All right, awesome, guys. Well, that was episode 57. Next week, we're going to do all of our running terminology for you guys. We are going to give you all of the things that you hear on the podcast with Matt's expertise on what every single thing means, so you know exactly what we're talking about. But for now, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you head over to Instagram and follow us at BeyondTheFinishLine_pod. Head over to wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, download, share it to your socials. We're always very appreciative, and have a wonderful week.
Hooroo.
Bye.